The horns are always my favorite. That just gets me so gassed. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone's having a fabulous day. I know here in New York, we had amazing weather today. A little bit about myself and who you will be staring at for the next 40 minutes or so. My name is Matt Mancuso. I run the Art of Eating food publication. I am a professionally trained chef. Went to the Culinary Institute of America. Graduated about 15 years ago. I've been cooking since I was 14 years old in kitchens, anything between like country clubs, mom and pops, Michelin restaurants, Per Se, Le Bernardin, Blue Hill. I've worked in bakeries, Bouchon Bakery, opened that up. All sorts of stuff. I've been all around the world, all around the globe, cooking in different kitchens, checking things out. And all of my journeys have brought me here every Sunday with you. Not every Sunday. Last Sunday of every single month. For those of you who have tuned in and watched me here before, you kind of already know the drill. But really quickly, for those tuning in for the first time, I kind of just want to run through this. If anybody has any questions about anything going on, drop them in the comments. ButcherBox will kind of help me facilitate different comments and questions and stuff like that, so I can stay in tune with what's going on my board and what's going on in the chat. Make sure we clear up all those different questions and stuff like that. What are we doing today? Great question. We're making tacos. Love it. Easy weeknight chicken tacos. The reason why I call these weeknight chicken tacos, even though we're doing this on a Sunday, just to kind of teach you, is you can keep these things prepped a few days out in advance. And if you're ever in a catch and you need to put something together on a whim, you can easily throw this dinner together in less than like 15, 20 minutes. It really comes together that quickly. And it's tasty. I'm sure your family and friends will be super happy that you're cooking fresh tacos for them. So a little bit about what's going on over here. I want to show you all my mise en place, right? As always, we always have everything ready to go. Now, hold on. There we go. We always have everything right here ready to go. And the reason for that being is I never want to be doing a recipe and have to stop what I'm doing on the stove to then turn around and get some last minute things here and there. Things could burn, things could go awry. You may need more time doing something. And to relieve any sort of anxiety and stress while you are cooking, having everything ready to go before you begin is going to be imperative to making sure all of this runs smoothly. And especially if you're setting this up ahead of time to be able to knock out some easy weeknight meals, you're already going to have this stuff. So you might as well just kind of put it all in front of you so that way you don't have to work in and out of the fridge. It's just such a lifesaver. It's something that we use in professional kitchens. Everybody uses it. I've actually used it to other things in my day-to-day. It's not just when I'm cooking. I always make sure I have everything prepped. What it directly translates to, mise en place means to put in place in French. So it means to have everything in place before you begin and you're ready to go that way. So without further ado, I don't want to keep too let's dive in. So our recipe is going to start with our chicken. It says 1.5 pounds of chicken, absolutely, breast or thighs. I only am going to do 1 pound here just because it's just me cooking for myself tonight. But the recipe is coursed out for a full 1.5 pounds. You can even make a little bit of the extra stuff. It's not a big deal. I have a wet paper towel going down and a cutting board on top of it. Now, when I go to be cutting things, this isn't moving. It's staying put the whole time. So I have our chicken breast here, huge, beautiful ButcherBox chicken breast here. Honestly, really doesn't need to be cleaned up all too much. Here, let's move that so you can see fully. We are going to cut this into some nice cubes, make it very simple, very easy while you are eating your tacos. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to slice this chicken breast in half horizontally, and then we are going to slice strips and then slice cubes. Be very careful when you're doing this, that this hand is up and out just like so, okay? You don't want to cut yourself. So we're going to take the blade, making nice long strokes with the blade, and we're going to cut that right down the middle, just like that. Now I'm going to just cut these little strips like that. We'll do this side too. Okay. We can go that way. That's totally fine. Come on. There we go. And now cubes. Just like this. I want to do this first. That way our chicken has a moment to kind of marinate while we get all the other components ready to go. Excellent. So I got a bowl here we're going to go right into. And that's our chicken. Give me 10 seconds just to rinse my hands. Nice. All right. So now we have our chicken in the bowl. A few other things we need here. We're going to do about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm using Grazia olive oil. This is their sizzle. They have sizzle, drizzle, and frizzle for shizzle, just like that. No, the sizzle is for cooking all purpose. The drizzle is for finishing. And the frizzle is if you are going to be cooking. Do you sell the cutting board? No, I don't sell anything other than like food knowledge. That was just a regular plastic cutting board. I like to do my raw meats, my chicken, my fish, that sort of thing on a plastic cutting board. Much easier to clean. This is my new baby, my wooden cutting board. It is massive. It is the entire length of my counter, and I can have my computer over here, some other prep over here, some stuff going over here. I can cut stuff over here, mix it up over here. It's nice. I have so much space. I love it. I got my Louisiana style ButcherBox seasoning going right on top. Mix that in there too. And then we're going to do a little lime juice as well. Roll out this lime. I'm going to use this lime for the entire recipe. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut it down in the half from both axes, just like that. And then we're going to cut it in half again, and then cut it in half again. Now I have lime wedges, perfect for your Corona or your tacos, I guess would be a lot more appropriate. So now I got wedges for the day, but we're going to come in here with about 2 wedges worth of lime juice. You could do more, you could do less here. I got a garbage bowl in the corner as always. That way I don't have to run back and forth to the garbage. Excellent, excellent. Give this a nice mix, just like so. Just like that. Set it off to the side. I got to wash my hands. So I absolutely love this Grazia olive oil. I use all 3 of them quite often on the daily. They are my go-to olive oils. The main reason why I love it is because it's in a plastic bottle, which makes extracting olive oil, squirting it out super easy. If you're worried about microplastics or anything like that, they do sell their olive oil now in glass bottles. They also sell refills for their bottles. So like super sustainable across the board, Grazia. I love it. Love it. All right, so we're going to let this kind of marinate for the next 10 minutes or so, just until we get everything else in order. I want to talk about our toppings, okay? So the first topping I want to talk about is our slaw. I got some purple cabbage here. You can buy the whole head of cabbage, run a knife through it and slice it up. But really, we're looking for just like these fine julienne pieces of cabbage, right? What I want to do, I have some kosher salt. We're going to hit it with a pinch of just some kosher salt and then a little spritz of lime as well. So we have some salt, right? We have some acid going in here now as well. This is almost like a quick pickle is what we're doing. So we're making a slaw, so to speak. Mix all this together. The salt is going to start pulling out some of the moisture of the cabbage itself. It's going to start tenderizing the cabbage as well. The acid is also going to aid in tenderizing the cabbage. So this will actually get a little bit softer, start to wilt a little bit. We want that. It'll still maintain its crunch, which is what we're looking for. Awesome. My other key components, I got some pico de gallo here. If you don't have pico de gallo, you could use salsa. If you don't have salsa, you could just use some fresh tomatoes, some acid, maybe some herbs as well in there, some red onion or something like that. This is just tomatoes, red pepper, jalapeno, and red onion. Very simply put. A little bit of cilantro to top off our tacos as well. Sour cream or Greek yogurt adds a little extra layer of fattiness. I love that. Our limes from the first act that we spoke about. And then I have an avocado. I think we've spoken a few times on how to cut an avocado, but I'm going to go over it one more time with you guys. There are two ways to do this, right? Everyone is familiar with cutting down the top to the bottom, exposing as much flesh as possible. That's totally fine if you are going to be using the avocado in its entirety. If you're not using the avocado immediately, all at once, whatever it may be, then cutting it that way might expose too much of its flesh where it is going to start to oxidize too quickly. And when it oxidizes quickly, it'll get softer faster. It's also going to get a gross kind of brown on you. And some people don't like that, which you shouldn't. No problem. I agree. So to help from that happening too quickly, this is what I like to do. When you just need a little bit of avocado, I just cut the top off, okay? Now I have avocado here. We can literally just push this right out. Comes right out like that. Look at that, lovely. So I can use this, perfect. What do you do with this? I'll show you, give me 1 moment. I got something like this, perfect. Something like this, perfect. So throughout your week, I encourage you, take a spoon and an avocado and take any sort of avocado you need right from the top, just like that. The pit is going to stay right in the middle. As you go down and down and down further and further, that pit will just fall right out. Boop. But in the meantime, right, let's say like you're here and like, all right, I'm done with all the avocado. All you got to do is invert it onto a dish like this. Now it is sealed. Nothing is going to oxidize. You don't need to waste some gross paper plastic wrap and wrap this in the plastic wrap. This is already sealed. So it's sustainable. It's staying fresher. It's staying brighter. And you're more inclined to use this entire avocado throughout the week rather than going there in 2 days and finding a gross, soft, brown mess that you're just going to throw out anyway. This is one of my favorite tips for avocados. Avocado goes right in the fridge. So that's all of our key players here. Thank you, Susan. I love that tip. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, look, in restaurants, right, it's not exactly super practical. We're going to use that entire avocado for whatever we're doing. Even if we are just picking up like a brunch item that just needs a little avocado on the side or something like that, we're still going to end up using the rest of that avocado throughout service, right? What do you do with it? But at home, for example, my wife, who has a little piece of avocado every day with her eggs on some toast, that is the game changer. I showed her that a few years ago, and her mind has been blown ever since. it's awesome. I love it. Especially when you think about all the avocados you waste on a daily basis. It's terrible, right? So we're ready to dive in with our chicken. I'm going to bring you over to my stove. Let me just make sure it's safe. It's my kitchen. Hi. It's my stove. We'll do this right here in front of you. There we go. So we're going to throw the heat on, let this kind of preheat it just a bit. I have an induction countertop, so it's a little slower than if this was a fire, a flame, what have you. But yeah, any questions so far? Anything like that? This is super versatile. So like if you didn't want to do chicken, you could do steak, no problem. You could do fish. Same method, right? Fish would be a little bit different in terms of the marinade, but the steak, you could throw all these ingredients. The Louisiana seasoning goes great with all three of those proteins. A little bit of grassa olive oil, the acid, really great, really good stuff. So I'm using a stainless steel pan, going in with our grassa olive oil. We don't need much, a little less than a tablespoon. I just like to kind of get this hot and lubed up a little bit first before we go in with our chicken. But our chicken already has a ton of oil on it. What are we going to use today? Let's use some tongs. We'll move this around with some tongs. Again, I want this really, really hot. So the chicken we cut up pretty small, right? It's not super thick. It's not a nice deep breast or anything like that. So we'll be able to cook this relatively quickly. Really, we're chasing for a nice brown color, a sear on the outside. It's only going to take about 4 to 6 minutes total for all of this to cook because we cut them on the smaller side. So since we did that, it is important that we're starting in a ripping hot pan because the ripping hot pan is going to help seal that crust in, creating that sear. There we go. Almost there. You see how the oil is moving slowly? How it's dripping. Come on. There we go. Let me try and show you that one more time. You see how the oil is dripping slowly? Yeah, like that. I want it to be a little less viscous, a little looser in the pan. So it needs to heat up just a little bit more. Where's everyone from? Where are you guys tuning in from? I'm in New York. I'm in Westchester, New York today. East Coast. What about y'all? I know there's a lot of Colorado people that usually tune into my channel on this. I feel like every time we turn in, it's like, I'm from here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Yes, please let me know where you're tuning in from. All right, we're getting there. We're almost there. See, I'm telling you, if you had a flame, if this was gas, this would really only take just a few seconds. Florida, love it. Maryland, love it. My best friend's in Maryland. Ooh, Tennessee, Colorado, love it. Going there in 2 months. San Jose, excellent, beautiful weather. Good for you. Calgary, all the way up north. I love that. Love that. All right. We look ready to go. Yeah, here we go. All right. So I got my chicken thoroughly mixed with our lime juice, our olive oil, and our seasoning. That's a good sign. You hear that? So now we're cooking off our chicken. Let's get the last bit in there. Nice. So we're really not going to move it around as much. Camping in Georgia, watching cooking shows. That's amazing. I love that. A little champagne, not that bad. Excellent starter for our tacos. Notice I'm not going to touch this. I'm just going to leave it here, at least for 60 seconds. Keeping my pan on high right now. There's no need to drop it. Once I start moving this stuff around, I might drop it to a medium high, but I'm still on a ripping high heat right now. Getting a nice sear, nice crust on the bottom here. We can move that oil around the pan just to make sure that it's getting everywhere. But now we're in good shape. By not touching it, we're going to get a nice crust, a nice color on the bottom. Okay? Maybe make sure everything is evenly touching the bottom of the pan, Matt. That would be good. There we go. Nothing's too overcrowded, right? We all saw that. We all saw that reel for overcrowding your pan on the Truffle Shuffle page. If we were to overcrowd this, there'd be too much moisture expelling off of it, not allowing us to get a nice sear because of that moisture. I'm going to move you guys back because I'm splattering. And again, I don't want to really move anything because we're in good business. You could put a lid on this if you're doing a lot more chicken at once. If you had a, I don't know, like a 16-inch pan that you were using, twice the size of this 8, right? You could easily put a lid on it, add more chicken, then put the lid on it. So it kind of helps cook a little faster, a little steam. But I wouldn't do that until you have this layer completely seared off first. Then after you start moving some stuff around just to ensure an even cook, you can put a lid on it. That's no problem. All right, I'm going to start moving some stuff around. But look, just so you see, that's the color we're looking for. There we go. Beautiful. Crispy. Drop the heat to a medium right now because we got a nice crust. We're about 70% cooked. We'll let it cook the rest of the way on one side without touching it. I am getting a little bit of grease around here on my stove top. That's okay. That's in the nature of this sear. If you had like a lid, one of those like mesh lids, you could use one of those. But I mean, look, you're cooking. It's going to get a little dirty. Clean up after. I just don't want my computer to get grease on it. That's all. Ooh. These look yummy. So we're just about there. Cooked all the way. You can smash one in half. Make sure you got this nice, bright, juicy white on the inside. Nothing pink still, nothing dark. Dark meat might take a little bit longer. Pop this off. Get a bowl here. Now I want to show you a trick. I'm transferring this out because I want it to stop cooking. I don't want it to overcook. If you're worried about just testing by smashing it, that's totally fine. I understand. You could also take a probe thermometer, something like this. Stab your chicken. You're looking for 160 or 165. I say 160 because it's going to carry over a few extra degrees. So if you pull it a little early, you're still safe. We're going to put this off to the side for right now. And I'm going to move a different pan on top of my heat. Although I want to clean the bottom of my, so I'm not smoking. Again, I got this stupid induction. Throw your heat on high. You can do this in a nonstick pan. You can do this in a stainless steel pan. If you have gas, you can even do that straight on the gas. What I want to do is toast off some tortillas. I have these tortillas here. Going to be a little bit different than what y'all are getting in stores. These are, this is made by a woman locally, about 20 minutes from me. She sells it in all the stores. We keep them in the fridge. It's totally okay. You can buy a brand like Mission. You can use flour or corn. Either one works. I love these though. Awesome. So what you got to do, throw it in a dry pan. We just want to get them soft. They're already cooked completely. Again, if you have a flame, a gas burner, you could throw this directly on the gas burner, 10 seconds on each side, and they're good to go. You could even, here, look, you can even throw them in the microwave for 10 seconds, and they're good to go. See how they're starting to curl a little bit? You can flip them. I still want some more color, though. Let's pull it those down. But like they get real nice and soft just with a quick flash in the microwave. I love that method too. There we go. Toast these guys off. Woo! What kind of tortillas y'all using at home? Store-bought, fresh? Who's making their own masa? There's always one. My campfire people, y'all making your own masa, your own tortillas? That'd be a fun trick. Here we go. I hear it. You hear it? You hear it too. Beautiful. This has like a nice golden color that it just took on. It's not quite like brown or charred or whatever. Again, I wish I had some sort of gas here. That'd be ideal. But we're going to use that as is. That's beautiful. Let me move you guys back over to my board. All right. Let's build some tacos, gang. Okay. So we got 2 tacos here. Pick up either side just like this, right? And put them next to each other, just like that. So now you can build on either side, right? I'm going down with a little bit of our chicken first on one side. Actually, we're going to do chicken on both sides because we're only making chicken tacos today. I said that like there was going to be a secret protein that I had. Oh, try to keep it all in the taco, Matt. There we go. Excellent, excellent. Let me just pick these up. My dog will eat that, and that would burn his little body. What kind of weight is that? True Cooks make these. The brand is called True Cooks. Each one is 2 pounds. Together they are 4 pounds. If you can't find something like this or you don't want to buy the True Cooks brand, look for something called a chef's press or a fish press or a burger press, but you're going to get weird shapes for a burger press. I also have this one for if I have a nice heavier piece of steak or meat or something like that. They both live front and center on my stove right there. So now we're going to come in with a little avocado, just a bit. So let's do Pico on one. Just like that. Ooh, these smell good, man. I'm telling you, the Louisiana Seasoning by ButcherBox is my favorite seasoning on everything. We use it on literally everything. I'll do like for meal prep, I'll do some ground turkey just so I can kind of put it in like wraps and put it on top of salads. It's just a nice lean protein, something like that. I finish it with the Louisiana. Brown it off, put a little Louisiana in there. I can tell this slaw is going to be my favorite, so I'm putting extra on it. We'll do a little bit of this sour cream right on the Pico one, I'm thinking. A little bit of cilantro on both, on all. You could do cheese if you want. I got to be honest, I really don't do cheese on tacos unless I'm making like classic hard shell tacos, you know what I mean? But if I'm doing a soft taco just like this, it doesn't need it, right? Hit it with some lime, guys. And that's literally it. So easy. Hold on 1 second. So again, these are great for like meal prep, having all of the mise en place ready that you can just kind of interchange different tacos, proteins, and stuff like that. It's very, very simple. Let's try a bite, right? Like that. Mmm. Mmm. Well done. Chicken's not dry. Hold on, where'd you go? There you go. Chicken's not dry at all. It's got some nice punch from the citrus. Nice little crust, got some texture on there. Well, I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me eat. And y'all are cooking along. You're probably done too and you want to eat. So listen, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Matthew. I stream every single month, the last Sunday of the month with ButcherBox. Sometimes you get lucky and they throw me in randomly along the way. Be sure to follow ButcherBox and Truffle Shuffle. Sign up for these classes, these cook-alongs. They're great. They do them every single Sunday. And we'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Have a happy weekend.